My name is Kwabna Chenche Heneboati. Many thanks for joining us here on News Today. In our first story, and the Youth League of the Convention People's Party is calling for the dismissal of the party's running mate, Nana Gabin Ketia. The Youth League says the nominee's recent confession that he was a card-bearing member of the New Patriotic Party undermines the party's credibility and puts his loyalty to the CPP in doubt. Nana Gabi Nsianketia, who was a former advisor to former President John Ejekum Kufuor, is alleged to have said in an interview on an Accra-based television station that even though he has agreed to become the CPP's vice presidential nominee, he is still a card-bearing member of the NPP. Now, the retired diplomat also says he sees nothing wrong with still being a member of the biggest opposition party and being the running mate for the CPP flag bearer. But the youth wing of the party will have none of that, with issues of loyalty being brought to the fore. In a bit, we'll be speaking to Secretary of the Convention People's Party's Youth Wing, Hadi Yakobo. But before that, let's speak to Maxwell Agbagba, who is at the CPP headquarters, and that is where that very ceremony is taking place. He's joining me on phone now with a lot more. So, Maxwell, can you tell us what has been the situation this morning at the CPP headquarters as the party tries to outdoor the running mate of the flag bearer?
Yes, Pabina. So, as you rightly mentioned, I'm currently at the CPP headquarters here at Salam Down, where they are outdooring the party's running mate. When we came here, we met a lot of top party officials, so we had some interactions with them even before the main event started. And I spoke to lawyer Bryce Akwiti, who was previously gunning for the race to become the flag bearer of the CPP. Unfortunately, he didn't win. I had interactions with him about a topical issue and a controversial issue that has come up about the allegiance and the membership of the running mate who's been outdoored today. And he says that he does not see anything wrong with Nana Gabi Nsianketia being a member of the NPP and also being a running mate for the NDC. And he says that he's urging all party supporters and those making, in his own word, a fuss about his credentials as a CPP member. He says he doesn't see anything wrong with that, and he actually went on to say that in the past they've had cases where a lot of their party people defected to other political parties, and that did not affect the CPP, or that did not affect their work in the parties that they joined. He cited an instance of Freddie Blay, who is now with the NPP. But back to the event that is taking place here, we had Professor Edmond Daly giving his preliminary remarks, and he says that the CPP is rebuilding their past glories, and it says they are poised more than ever before to go to every nook and cranny in Ghana to make sure that they preach and propagate the good message that they have for Ghanaians. After his speech, then we had the running mate himself, Nana Gabi Nsianketia, and addressing the press, and he says that he's very grateful, he's thankful to the CPP because he never expected it to happen, and he's grateful to the CPP. And he says that he would use all the experiences that he has garnered in his years as a retired diplomat and his service in the military. He will bring all of that on board to make sure that they win the 2016 election. When Ivor Kobna Greenstreet took over, he eulogized his running mate. Says they have to restore our dignity. We need to restore dignity as a nation. A nation without that virtue, he says, is susceptible to corruption. He says his running mate is very humble, incorruptible in his activities, and he actually went to him and then knelt before him to have him as his running mate. As it stands right now, all the people who have spoken on the main platform of daring the running mate have not spoken directly to the issue of Nana Nketiah's membership. That there's question time ongoing now, and that question has been asked. So hopefully, we're hoping that that question would also be addressed by the running mate.
Okay, Maxwell, just before you go, I need to find out from you whether you've seen any of the members of the CPP Youth League and what has been their reaction to this whole development.
Well, I've not spotted any of them here. I've not spotted any of the members of the CPP Youth League here at the moment. I don't think they're around.
So,
but
is that to suggest they are boycotting the exercise?
No. Come again, Fabna.
Is that to suggest that they are boycotting the exercise?
Well, I'm careful not to say that they are boycotting the exercise, but as it stands right now, I've not cited any of them. Yes, currently.
Maxwell, many thanks for that update. That's Maxwell Agbagba, who just joined us on phone from the CPP headquarters at Asylum down here in the capital, Accra. And well, the party has been outdooring its running mate, and there's been a lot of questions as to the loyalty of that very gentleman, Nanagabi Nketia. And well, he says, well, he's a card-bearing member of the NPP, but then again, he still sees nothing wrong with being the running mate to the CPP flag bearer. There'll be more on this in subsequent bulletins here on your election headquarters, your Joy News channel. But away from that now, and I will continue to beg for votes if that is what it takes to be president. The words of NPP flag bearer Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo as he adored the party's parliamentary candidate for the Klote Kole constituency, Philip Addison. Nana Akufo-Addo at a rally on Wednesday at the Arts Centre said it was time for the country to make the needed change in governance for a better future. Well, Latif Idris was with the NPP flag bearer, and let's come through with this report.
The campaign trail started in a constituency that has been a stronghold of the New Patriotic Party, the Ayawaso Central constituency. Party bigwigs took turns to address supporters in the constituency. When he took his turn, former Member of Parliament for the area, Sheikh I.C. Kwe, who described President Mahama and his appointees as thieves, said their days are over.
Hey, in heaven, there's no corruption. In heaven, there's no stealing. In heaven, there's no awam. In heaven, there's no libby. In heaven, there's no libby. In heaven, there is straightforwardness. There is hope. There's peace. There's everything. Those who follow those who steal, the stealers, will not go to heaven. If you follow stealers, you will not go to heaven. The prayer that you say everything in the church, say so. That your prayer says that, thy kingdom should come from heaven. And what is done in heaven must be done on earth. And that is what the NPP is doing. We have the man, a corruptible man, and Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. First-rate leader, a man of vision, a man of everything that we want, we need in Ghana to be able to move forward. Well, you are here, World Bank. This is our World Bank. Now the World Bank is 99.9%.
The incumbent Member of Parliament for the constituency, Henry Korte, made a strong case for his re-election and why the people should vote massively for Nana Addo to be president. Electricity tariff is always on the increase. Very soon, I'm sure we would not be able to pay for electricity. Responding to President Mahama's criticism of his style of campaigning, Nana Akufo-Addo, in a rather sarcastic manner, told party supporters he will continue to beg for votes. I have my own campaign strategy, and part of it is to beg the people for votes. So I don't understand why President Mahama has issues with it. I'll continue begging for votes. I'll beg for votes today, and I'll beg for votes tomorrow. You are sitting at the presidency and you are not delivering. We would use our terms to remove you from the Flagstaff House. Nana Addo also dashed any hope of bringing back disenchanted member of the party, Ninoy Norte, who is contesting the Klote Kole seat as an independent candidate.
Away from that now, and Communications Director of the Zongo Caucus of the National Democratic Congress has defected from the party to join the New Patriotic Party. Addressing the media in Accra Awal Mohammed announced that his decision to join the NPP stems from the failure of the governing NDC to design policies and programs that will address the peculiar challenges of the Zongo community in Ghana. Now, he lauded Nana Akufo-Addo's promise to establish a Zongo Development Fund should he win the 2016 elections.
I have defected to the MPP, and my decision to join the MPP is wholly based on principles and conviction. On the 30th of January this year, Nana Addo Akufo-Addo addressed a Nasara conference in the Asawase constituency where I live. After the lunch, it emerged that he promised the people of Zongo that there will be a Zongo Development Fund to help the Zongos. And Zongo Caucus afterwards, in a press conference addressed by myself, rubbished the claim and tried to bastardize the policy. And we further told the people of Zongo and the people of this country in that press conference that the NDC have better policies geared towards the development of Zongos than the MPP, so they should disregard that statement from Nana Addo Akufo-Addo. Unfortunately, the NDC launched its manifesto some 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, some weeks ago. I read through all the 88-page document, and to my uttermost dismay and disappointment, there is no single policy that is geared towards the Zongo communities. That is the development of Zongo communities. And it is an open secret in this country that we have over 50% of the votes the NDC gets in winning any elections is from Zongo. So I think we've been handed over, or we've been given a raw deal. So I think the best thing to do and the honorable thing to do is to move around, tell the people I told that the MPP do not have any message for the people of this country, that indeed somebody who says I have a dedicated fund to help, he's move ahead from the lip service that the Zongo is deprived. He says I will establish a fund so that the Zongos will have something.
19 members of the governing National Democratic Congress in the Volta region have filed nominations with the Electoral Commission to contest the 2016 general elections as independent candidates. Some of these constituencies, we are told, include the Akan constituency, Ho Central, Gotimes Yope, and Akachi South. Now, the rest are Ketu South, which are said 3 independent candidates from the NDC, Not Dai, Not Tong, among others. Some leading members of the NDC a few weeks ago raised concerns about the risk of apathy setting in on election day following a range of challenges in the region. We'll be bringing you some discussions on this in subsequent bulletins as well. But away from that now, and Accra High Court will tomorrow hear an application for injunction suit filed by the Progressive People's Party on the Electoral Commission's decision to charge 50,000 Ghana cedis for aspiring presidents. The court's decision is also likely to touch on a contempt case brought against the EC by the Progressive People's Party. The commission, through its chair Charlotte Osei, on Friday, September 30, received a 50,000 Ghana cedi filing fee from the PPP, contrary to its earlier position of rejecting the monies from other parties due to a legal suit on the matter. But explaining to the media the reason for rejecting the filing fees of other parties but accepting that of the PPP, EC Chair Charlotte Osei said she was under the guise the party had withdrawn its suit on the issue. Now, Inspector General of Police John Kudalo says the police service has deployed more of its men to reinforce security in areas that have witnessed election-related violence. He said the police service will leave no stone unturned in its bid to ensure peaceful polls. In his welcome address at a media briefing on the activities of the police ahead of the elections, John Kudalo urged his regional police command units to comply strictly with the communication issued by the headquarters and further called on them to coordinate with chiefs, opinion leaders and the media to realize this very goal of ensuring peaceful elections. Well, Ernest Kojomen was at that media briefing. He's joining us on phone with a lot more. So, Ernest, can you tell us what more the IGP has been saying this morning?
Yes, Governor. So this morning it was established that out of the 3,000 registration centers that were open for the registration exercise, 23 of them witnessed some form of violence. And so what the IGP has done is to redeploy some more men to these areas in order to control the situation and ensure that it does not escalate. But he's also directed his Director of Operations Legal to go to these areas personally and ascertain for himself what the situation is and make sure that they prosecute all those who fall foul of the law. And this morning, the police has also, what the police has also done is to inculcate into the 5,003 flashpoints they have identified, inculcate what the Electoral Commission identified, which was initially 55. Now the Electoral Commission is saying there are 94 flashpoints. They have inculcated that into the 5,003 flashpoints the police identified initially, and they have mapped out some strategies to make sure that these areas do not go out of hand and that violence is kept in these areas.
Many thanks for that update. Ernest Kojomen joining us with a lot more on that media briefing by the Inspector General of Police. You're watching News Today here on the Joy News channel on Multi TV. Is also available on your Go TV channel 144 and your DSTV channel 421. We're taking a break. When we come back, we'll tell you about how Ghana's inflation rates, which is currently measured by the Consumer Price Index or the CPI, has increased to 16.9% from in August. We have details shortly. Stay with us. Many thanks for staying with us here on News Today. To some more stories now. And Ghana's inflation rate, as measured by the Consumer Price Index or CPI, increased to 16.9% in August 2016 from 16.7% in the previous month. Now, as cost of housing, utilities and transport rise at a fast pace, consumers seek affordable means of meeting their needs. The innovative buying trend has developed to the point where consumers are compelled to shop at night to cut down costs. Well, journalist Faustina Safo has more in the following report.
Ghana's average inflation is 17.17%. With the increase in cost of goods and services, consumers seek more affordable means of meeting their needs. While the solution is right here at the La Paz Night Market. Wondering why the place is packed at this time? Well, we'll get to find out together. From personal through to household, electrical and even consumable items, consumers flood the market, which actively starts from 5 p.m. and sometimes peak at 10 p.m. Stretching from the Las Palmas Junction to La Paz and the Niboy Town Junction, vendors arrange their goods on both sides of the pedestrian walkway in a desperate bid to catch customers' attention. The marketing strategy can get quite innovative, with traders sometimes chanting catchy phrase. Some traders share why they choose to trade at night.
Sometimes in the afternoon, the area people do warriors. So let's usually in the evening before we can get a chance and then sell our market. And then you see, the problem here is we don't have an actually place that we can place our market and sell them. So that is why sometimes we're in the traffic.
Oh, we like here because we don't have money to go and rent stores. You understand? So we do this one. If God permits, then small time we get our store.
As for here, the market at night, it used to go on, but sometimes when the car is coming on, like we used to push our things back.
Some consumers cited convenience of location as the reason they shop at night, while others believe price of goods are much more affordable at night as compared to daytime.
This night I just close for work where I just see the phone. I just look inside. If I see the better one I can buy, I can use my choice to buy it. I think say La Paz one is better to me because it's very low price for me. Anyone we have choose inside, I know say it's very low for me.
Buying at La Paz is, to me, it's more better than distance, like going to Circle and a lot of places. I live around and I choose to buy around.
This seemingly convenient trader-consumer partnership has, however, raised some security concerns.
When coming around, you have to be careful, and it's a normal thing, like people do pickpockets. It's something about you being careful and knowing what you're doing.
Faustina Safo for Joy News.
Commercial drivers in the Ashanti Regional Capital, Kumasi, have taken a swipe at the Ghana Police Service for failing to implement a directive to its personnel not to check driver's licenses or vehicle documents. A statement issued by DCOP Ransford Ninson on Tuesday directed police personnel from the Motor Transport and Traffic Directorate to focus solely on traffic management duties. Love FM's Kwesi Deba reports, however, that though the drivers welcomed the directive, not much has changed as police in Kumasi blatantly flout the orders while extorting money from motorists.
A visit to lorry stations at Aprade, Kwamo and Dejoso saw drivers complained police insisted on inspecting their documents. The process, according to them, ended with money changing hands with or without any offense. The alleged taxi drivers pay 2 Ghana cedis, while trotro drivers part with 5 Ghana cedis.
Another pay, Junction, 2 cedis.
Omoje driving license no. No moje iskawo. And omoje iskawo. Na omoje 2 cedi taxi for you 2 cedi Kumasi.
Taxi no 2 cedi. And I trotro for 2 cedi.
Ebi 5 cedi 3 cedis.
Yakwan so. What's for me now? Odium angoma so domi ablakwan so. O me gina na Accra road from Eswa Apale Junction. And also almost am be gina ho. Ah no mo check out for Ejiska.
Drivers are, however, divided on whether implementation of the directive will ensure safety on the roads.
Well, driving license will cap paper, we be so we are the kama. Say be we problem on which is and I say one with insurance say income tax about that trying you be a trap. Say you tell me you be a taxes and insurance anybody then.
Why buy? Yeah, driver for you 2 minutes they say IGPD we say about say ma police for me jam committee the people na na say be you ayen kucha. E wa kucha.
Okay, road wet ne de ka wo mo check here keye. Yes sa eye ne jeje no.
Me to me taxi bia or union bia no. Or lances. And Monday bia your union penny for make sure say almost check out driving papers bia. I check out driving licenses. It's taxi driver there we need lances are on your day. Oh taxi no.
Regional command officials at the Police Motor Traffic and Transport Unit declined comment on the issue. They say they are not mandated to speak to internal memoranda. Reporting for Joy News, Kwesi Debra.
In the capital Accra, my name is Kwabna Chenjeni Boating. This is News Today.